Good morning. Happy Soulful Sunday. Today is the very first podcast, video, or however you're listening to it, because it is available on all streaming services, YouTube included. So if you're here with me, you're here for a reason. I'd like to thank you for being here, whether you were looking for me or you stumbled upon me, found me by accident. This message is meant for you. So today I just want to talk about why I got into this spiritual, meaningful path and why it found me and why it's aligned with my purpose. So I'm going to call you my soulful soldiers. Is that okay? I like that. I feel like, you're right here with me. Even though you're not physically here, I still feel you. So the journey I went through that stripped me down to my core and who I was probably one of the most traumatic things that anyone could go through in their life. Long story short, I received a vaccine that was unsterile, and it attacked both of my knees, my left ankle, my right wrist, left me with the inability to walk. I was in the hospital for 34 days, and then went to rehab for another 63 days to relearn how to walk. And by the grace of God, I'm healthy. We're not 100% yet. We're 85% better, but we're mobile. We're functional, right? If you look at me, you wouldn't be able to tell what I went through, physically and spiritually, because I've healed in many aspects. But when you go through something so trivial and traumatic and completely out of the blue, right? Because life happens. Doesn't care what you have planned. It happens. It transforms you. I've always said my superpowers have been my resilience and my strength, and they still are. And I was tested on that, severely tested on that. And it was my resilience and my strength and my bubbly personality and my positive outlook on life that got me through it. I never sat to myself and I was like, oh, this is the end. Oh, I'm not going to make it through. I was like, nope, I'm getting back on my feet. I said that. I said, I'm getting back on my feet. Might take me time. I might cry. I might, have 3 steps back forward and 1 step back. I'm getting there. If there's a will, there's a way. That is how I am made. That's how I'm wired. There is a will, there is a way. My determination, my resilience, and my never wanting to give up attitude is what got me through and got me here to your screen or your sound today. So my message for you is, or the pilot or the theme of this, sorry, my left eye was tearing, podcast is trials, tribulations, and hardships. Trials, tribulations, and hardships. They're going to happen to everyone in life. They're going to happen to everyone. It's what you do with them that makes you who you are, or who you want to become, or who you want to grow into, right? And this is me asking you, right? This is me asking you to turn your pain into progress. Figure out the why. Not woe is me, why, not why is this happening to me? Why is this happening to me? And do you hear the difference? The reason, the deeper meaning. What is the lesson? What is the purpose of going through this? And for me, it was my spiritual awakening and stepping into who I needed to be, stepping into my life purpose to lead and live a fulfilled life. So don't let these define your outcome of life. Don't let a bad moment derail your life, even though it can derail your life, but don't let it permanently derail your life. Don't let, a hiccup delay you and hold you in that negativity. Use that as fire to push you out of it. Use it to propel you, right? The why you went through is an opportunity for growth and reflection and for necessary change. and necessary bravery and necessary courage so you can find you, and not just like the regular you, the deep, unseen, unlearned parts of yourself. So you can answer this question, who am I? Who am I? Or who do I want to be? Right? And that's what this journey did for me, right? It healed me, it asked me, it forced me to sit with myself and be like, who do I want to be? Everything you go through in life changes you into who you are today. So look back at those moments. Look back at those moments and be grateful that you made it through. Like, even in the moment when you were questioning how you were going to make it through, and you look back and you're like, wow, I made it. That is the point. That is the purpose, right? That is the purpose of why we go through the hardships in life. They use it as growth. Think about it. If no one goes through ups and downs, right? The peaks and valleys of life actually get you further along the journey versus just going on straight path with no bumps, no peaks, no valleys. It's a slower trajectory, whereas the highs and lows propel you. Think about a roller coaster, right? When you're going up, it's slow, right? You're coming up from that valley. And when you're coming from that peak, that velocity coming down off that peak is fast, right? So that's the movement of life, the highs and lows. Remember, evolve into who you want to be. That this is your journey. Find your purpose, find your reason why, so that your life is more fulfilled. So that your life is more fulfilled, so that you're happier. And you're in your receiving energy, right? That once you're in your life purpose, everything just comes to you. Life feels easier. Life is easier because you're not questioning anything anymore, because you already know. And that you just learn more about yourself, and you learn more about what you didn't know about yourself, and you learn what you actually like versus what you don't like. You learn new crafts. You learn new opportunities that you might propel you into a new business. You never know. You never know. Things fall in your lap for a reason. And you just have to let life happen. And when you take your hands off of the steering wheel of outcome and timeline of your life, stress is no longer on the table. When you take those off and you just kind of let things be, accept things for what they are, like someone cuts you off, you know what? Maybe they were preventing me from hitting a pothole. You know, that's how you have to look at it. Wow. So, this is the first podcast, but for those of you that follow me on social media, my Instagram is Soulful Sydney 333. That's the handle. I post collective tarot readings every day, and I post meaningful messages every day. So they're separate videos, same platform. So I started with the meaningful messages and just having them be like short little messages that tie into one big theme for the week. So this week's, or I should say last week's theme, because it's Sunday, it's a new day, new week. Last week's theme was evolving and aligning. And this week's theme is going to be exploring this new healed version of yourself. So if you're someone that likes little bursts of inspiration or wants to tap into the unseen parts of yourself, then tarot is definitely for you. But if you just want like a little burst of inspiration, then the meaningful messages are for you. They are posted every day. You can see them on my social media, or if you're on Facebook, you can look up Sydney Kelly, and that is where you'll find it. Also, I'm on Snapchat as well. You can find me on Snapchat. And I'm forgetting one thing. Right. My email. If you're interested in personal coaching sessions, healing, helping you find your healing path and how you can do that, or just wanting to get an intuitively guided reading. It's energy based. I'm not a psychic. I'm not a medium. I cannot read into your future. I just help you tap into that subconscious, unseen part of yourself. That deep part that your 3D ego, your mind, is preventing you from feeling and seeing. That's my job. I was put on this earth to heal. That is my life purpose. So I can help you tap into that. So you can go to my website, soulfulsydney333.square.site, to book a reading, or you can email soulfulsydney333@gmail.com to also talk to me through there. Thank you for tuning in to this very first podcast. And Tuesday, I will do a weekly reading, right? I'm calling it Tarot Tuesday. So stay tuned, be prepared, and stay ready every Sunday and Tuesday, new videos. Thank you for tuning in today. I'll see you next week, or I'll see you on Tuesday. Bye.